And now joining us on This Is the Day is Jason Craig, who is the co-author of this book I'm holding in my hand, The Liturgy of the Land, Cultivating a Catholic Homestead. Thank you so much for being with us, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off talking a little bit, if you could tell us about what Catholic Homestead is.
Sure. We use the word homestead on purpose and not farm. When people hear farm these days, they typically mean that the primary purpose is financially supporting the home through the work of farming. But the homestead is obviously very similar. You're doing very similar things, but the purpose of it is producing food for the home. So the home is really the center of the homestead, whereas, you can own and have a farm that your home has nothing to do with. And we wrote the book because we start in the very beginning. It seems that, especially now, more technology, artificial this and that, just a fast rush of things that every family at some point thinks maybe we should live on a farm or maybe we should be homesteading. And my co-author in there, we did that at the same time together about 12 years ago. And the story is the book is basically helping expose mostly our mistakes, but to help families that were not grown up or conditioned on the land to actually make that kind of transition.
And talk about your transition too, and what that was like with your family, and how did that go, and maybe some of the insights into doing that.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big question. It was an intellectual conversion at the beginning. I work for a Catholic apostolate called Fraternites, and we, the whole idea is that we're really hemorrhaging boys in the church. They're leaving the faith right at the moment where they're becoming men, and what's the problem with that? And so I was getting a master's degree studying this topic, and you really can't escape the fact that the relationship between fathers in their household really changed fundamentally after the Industrial Revolution. That fathers, for the first time in history, predominantly left the home to go do their work. And that this is something a lot of us can't escape, but we know it, we feel it. We feel the tension of trying to balance, home and work. And there was a time where those things were the same. We think of Saint Joseph didn't have to balance time with Jesus because they were carpenters together. They did the work together. And that's what we wanted for our family. We were blessed with actually a lot of hardships that made it so that when we arrived, quote unquote, on the land, we really needed the food we were producing. Like, I wanted to give up on the milk cows that we had, but we couldn't because we needed the milk. And that, like I said, that was about 12 years ago. And now, especially after writing the book, we've thought about it as homesteading really is a conversion. I mean, we're conditioned. We don't know. Fish doesn't know it's in water. You're conditioned to kind of live and breathe different rhythms and ways of life, and learning how to live closer to the land, really closer to each other, hopefully closer to God. It was hard. I mean, it's like all conversions. Conversions ought to be hard.
Yeah.
And homesteading is not just another technique or lifestyle. It's really a conversion to a different way of life.
And talk about that. I know it's a micro dairy that you run. I know you do some other work too. Is there a typical day for you, or are they all different?
Well, that's the good thing about having milk cows. They make every day typical, because you're going to milk the cows. You're going to get up and milk the cows. And so I guess to answer your question, the predominant, cultural force on our family is actually our homestead. What we have to get done, because the pigs have to be moved or fed and the cows have to be milked. And but we do have other work. I do other work that's not, we don't make our income from the homestead. We do make some income from the homestead, but the predominant reason is actually we feed ourselves, which is a legitimate and true economic need that the homestead fills. It's important to us. But no, I do a lot of writing, so it's great. I mean, we get up early, we pray, we eat our breakfast, we go and we do our farm chores, and then basically, like a lot of homes, we kind of split for a big part of the day, and I go in the office, and the kids, they're doing their school. And then we come back together and we do the farming again. I guess the question isn't ever though, how are we going to spend time together? We're going to spend time together. And particularly it's important for my sons, that we have 5 sons and 3 daughters, and that they get the opportunity every day for me and them to work together, to difficult, hard, necessary things together every day.
And we're just about 1 minute left, but if you had one piece of advice, I guess, for someone who might be considering doing something like this, what would that be?
Wow, maybe discern it carefully.
Yeah.
That it can be an apparent escape from things, and sometimes you might just need to do your work and get back to your cubicle. Is to discern it carefully and not think that it's a magic fix, but also trust that it is God did create man and place him in the garden to till and keep it, and it is a very good and beautiful way of life.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, for being with us, sharing about your life too. The Liturgy of the Land is the book, and it's Cultivating a Catholic Homestead, and you can get this at Tan Books. And I guess the best way, tanbooks.com, is that the best way to get this, Jason?
Yeah, there's a book website, theliturgyoftheland.com, or just go to Tan.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Jason. We appreciate it.